But first, over the weekend, Defence Minister Richard Marles confirmed that Australia will host Talisman Sabre in late July, and it will be our largest such military exercise ever. Now, we do Talisman Sabre every couple of years or so, but we've never had it at this scale. It'll run over 14 days. It will involve 30,000 personnel, dozens and dozens of ships, armoured and aircraft vehicles from right across the region. But concerns have been raised today about the use by the RAF, the Royal Australian Air Force, of Chinese drones from a company that's been blacklisted by the United States. Now, hundreds of drones from a Chinese company, DJI, are in use across the ADF, mainly for training. Of course, they will be used, or were going to be used, during Talisman Sabre. Joining me now to discuss this, Michael Shoebridge, Director of Strategic Analysis Australia. Michael, welcome. Let's start with Talisman Sabre. Remind me, is it every 2 years, every 3 years? Due to be held at the end of July. Very big this year. And it's important to our partners in the region, isn't it?
Yes, Peter. It's a biannual exercise. Every 2 years. It used to be just Australia and the US, and it's now grown to include the largest number of partner militaries ever. Countries like South Korea, Japan, Fiji, Indonesia, UK, Germany and France. And the reason it's so important now is we're in a more dangerous region because of China's military aggression. And these partners need to demonstrate not just the will to deter conflict, but the ability, and practical exercising like Talisman Sabre is a key way of doing that.
Talk to me about these Chinese drones, because I read it thinking you can't make this stuff up. I mean, we've just gone through the exercise, warned months and months ago by Senator James Patterson, the Liberal senator, that you've got issues, he says, to the Defence Department with the CCTV cameras. You would think when they uncovered the CCTV issue, they would have done an audit right across the board, but clearly they didn't. What's going to happen from here on?
Peter, it is an unbelievable example of, there's no doubt in my mind, the Defence Organisation and all the intelligence agencies have been warning the government and everybody who'll listen about the intelligence danger in things like Hikvision video cameras and also drones. These drones are essentially flying video cameras, so they're not stuck on a pole. They can look at all kinds of things. And to have people at the lower levels in defence procuring and using these things with the top line advice going to government to do the opposite, just I think shows a complete disconnect between our strategic environment and the public assessment of that and what practical things defence is doing. It's disturbing. And if this is not the last, I will be surprised. There needs to be urgent action taken for people to remove this kind of Chinese technology from all of our national security environment.
Michael, surely though the fact that the US had blacklisted this company, red flags would have gone off down at Russell?
Well, yes, but the point is the Defence Organisation and our intelligence agencies have been raising the warning flags themselves about this technology. So to have them not notice that they're not paying attention to their own warnings is more disturbing than not noticing it's on a US blacklist. I think it just shows a real disconnect between what they're thinking because of their analysis about the threat and then how they're translating that into actions. They've been asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, and Beijing must look at us and think we operate Dad's army. I mean, they're coming in, they're buying up our water and they're buying up all these other sort of critical assets that we have been doing for years. They've got all their students coming here and then we're using their drones right in the heart of our military. What did you make of Penny Wong's speech today at the Press Club?
Well, I heard a lot of people say good things. I'm not one of them. I thought her central message was that on China, we should be very, very quiet, and that somehow diplomacy will magically stop the growing intimidation and military power demonstration we're seeing from Beijing around Taiwan. It won't. The only thing that will deter conflict in our region involving China is a countervailing deterrent power from the US and all of its partners and allies. She got that right. This is not a binary problem. It's not the US versus China. It's up to all of us, particularly US partners and allies, to help do the heavy lifting to deter China.
All right, talk to me about these Hawkeyes. I hope I explained it enough to viewers at home at the top of the show. We have sent Bushmasters. I think we should send the remaining 1,000 or so we've got sitting in a garage near the Brisbane airport. But these Hawkeyes, they hoped we would send Hawkeyes. I think we were open to it. And now we find that all of our Hawkeyes, I think we've got over 1,000 of them, they've got some issue with their ABS braking system. They've been, kilometre limited since last November. We find out now they've all got to be recalled and fixed. I mean, surely we can fix it. But in any event, even kilometre limited, they're better off to be over in Ukraine defending democracy than in a garage here in Australia.
Well, Peter, I think you're right. Maybe we should listen to what the Ukrainians want. They want these Hawkeye vehicles because they've got incredibly good off-road capacity. They can carry Javelin anti-armour missiles. They're very capable. When the part comes through to fix the braking system, the Ukrainians can fit it in Ukraine just as fast as we can fit it in Victoria. We should give them these vehicles, and they're operable now. Again, it shows this incredible disconnect. At the top level, the government says it wants to help Ukraine, and yet it's letting defence go slow on this fault that the Ukrainians are happy to live with, and it can be fixed in theatre as fast as at home.
And of course, if the issue is ABS brakes, they're not out on the tarmac. They're, as you say, used as four-wheel drive vehicles. It's hardly likely to be a material issue, knowing a little bit about cars. Thank you very much, Michael Shoebridge. That's terrific. I have the same concerns about the Wong speech too, but you heard me at the top of the show.